And hello, everyone. Welcome to another power scanning session. On the lookout for the best setups for the week ahead. It is February the 22nd. My name is Daniel Sinnig, and I'm greeting you guys from beautiful Miami today. I just got back from a short cruise in the Caribbean. Back in Miami today and later on back in Montreal, in snowy Montreal. But before we get started, let me ask you guys a question. Where are you calling in from? Who do we have today in our room? Edda from Hamburg. Hey, Edda, how are you? Good to see you. Guten Tag. Aubrey from Chile, Cyprus, but sunny. Okay, that's good. Awesome. Who else do we have? So we have Cyprus, we have Hamburg. Anybody from the US today? Let's see. Typically, we do have quite a few. Who else do we have? Jared from Santa Fe. Hey, Jared, what's going on? Ron from Iceman, Utah. Okay. Wayne from Boston. Hey, Wayne, good to see you. All right, great, guys. So, thank you so much for sharing your location. I hope my audio is coming over loud and clear. I'm not going to share my video today because of bandwidth saving practices. I'm leeching off a Starbucks Wi-Fi here in Miami. Let's see if this holds up. So we also have Stephanie from Gatineau, New Ottawa. Nice, Stephanie. How are you? And David from Delaware. Perfect. Thanks, guys, for sharing your location. All right. So let's get started. There we go. One second. Okay, so my name is Daniel Sinnig, as mentioned before, and I will be your host today. And I'm with tradingindicators.com. And over 10 years ago, we have created this company with the mission to create the best trading indicators out there. And we've gained extensive experience building these indicators, but also trading tools. And one such trading tool that we're going to use today is our Liquidity View dashboard, a tool designed to find interesting swing trading setups. So swing trades typically last anywhere between 2 weeks and perhaps 20 weeks. So they're not day trades. Also, they're not very long-term investments, but they're swing trades of a medium duration, so to say. And we believe these kind of swing trades, these are actually quite easy and simple to identify, but you need to use the right tools and you need to use the right indicators to do this. And one such tool we're going to use today. And before we get started, a quick reminder, please don't hold back with your questions. This webinar is for you. Niklas is in the chat room and he will look out for these questions and bring them to my attention throughout this webinar. So please don't hold back. Also, a quick reminder that trading does contain substantial risk and therefore is not suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and strategies discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for informational purposes only. All right, so with this out of the way, a couple of housekeeping items. First off, if you have not joined our Discord channel yet, please do so at tradingindicators.com/Discord, because once you join, you can get our automated trade alerts for day trades and also swing trades. And of course, perhaps most importantly, you can participate and observe our Trading Talk channel, where we post, our users post graphs, charts, setups, interesting ideas every single day. So please don't miss out on that. Also, we will use our Liquidity View dashboard today to find these promising setups for the week ahead. So if you want to join along, you can still do by signing up for a free trial version of our dashboard. So simply go to tradingindicators.com/view. You will get immediate access. So this really only takes a couple of minutes at most to get access, and then you can join and follow along as we filter and scan for these setups. So tradingindicators.com/view is the link for that. And yeah, as mentioned, you get instant access to it. All right, and lastly, we also have an ebook based on, or which details these setups that we're going to use today, our bounce setup, our long break setup, and our zone break retrace setups. All these are further detailed in our ebook. And Niklas, please post this link also into the chat. Download it for free and get all the details about these setups, why we think they are so powerful, and why we think they give you a high reward and low risk ratio, which is always sometimes that you may want to look out for. Also, if you have any comments or feedbacks regarding our tool, we're always trying to improve it further. And your feedback is very welcome for this. In fact, your feedback is what drives our development. So please don't hold back. If you have any feedback, put them into the Q&A box, send us an email, and we'll make sure to incorporate this into our new development efforts. All right. So finally, let's get started. I'm going to start off with a quick market review. Oh boy, things look so nice up until yesterday. A huge down day. But what should I say? Not completely surprising. Let me explain to you why that is from a pure technical point of view. So let's start off with the SPY. So here we are on our dashboard. I'm going to open up the SPY. And if I make this a little bit bigger, what do we see here? Well, first off, you can see that we are, of course, still in an uptrend. Nothing has changed with that. This is still a very promising uptrend, as you can see here. But a couple of things happened. If you focus a little bit on this area here, look where we bounced off from. Yes, price made this all-time high a couple of days ago, but not in a convincing manner. And in fact, we still remained in the vicinity of this resistance cluster here. You can see it here. And well, resistance is never a line in the sand, it's always a zone. And what we're seeing here is just another bounce off this resistance level in the SPY. Yeah, this is our classic bounce setup. It can happen to the downside if we bounce off resistance, and it can also happen to the long side if we bounce off support. So from a technical point of view, this is just a bounce of resistance. Resistance may hold up multiple times. Price may make several attempts to exceed this level. Eventually, it's gonna most likely you're gonna exceed this level, but it may take several tries. This is exactly what we're seeing here. And if you look at Trend Radar down here, we can see this is, even though it was a huge down day, just a level 3 pullback. You can see it here, only 3 levels in the Trend Radar are red, everything else is still green. So we're still very bullish, yet this was just a bounce off this resistance level in the SPY. What about the QQQs? Well, all often correlated to the SPY. Let's have a quick look. How does it look here? Let me make this a little bit bigger as well. Well, I don't know if you can see it, but I also see this level here. Well, it's resistance, and we bounced off this resistance level. And this is exactly why we believe in technical analysis. You may want to try to interpret fundamental news and political events and so forth and how price will react to it. But in the end, a lot of times it just comes down to the technicals. And what we see here was just a bounce off this resistance level. So very similar to the QQQs, to the SPY, excuse me, and also in Trend Radar, it is just a level 3 pullback within a strong uptrend. All right, and the Russell IWM, what do we have here? Let's have a quick look. So in the Russell, a huge down bar also. And in Russell, the situation is similar, yet a bit different, because where we bounced off from, first off, was also a resistance level. But it was not the highest one. It was this intermediate level where price bounced off from, and now we are approaching this cluster down here. It is not surprising that price stopped around this area. You can see here another resistance level, this green zone, and a support level, this reddish zone, are right below price right now. And I will predict for the next week that we may see a nice bounce off this level to the upside. So the Russell is very much sideways here, kind of range bound between these two levels here. And it looks to me that, hey, we're going to see another bounce to the long side in the Russell. All right, real quick, gold. Gold is, stable as always. We've been grinding higher and higher. A bit of a doji move on Friday, but of course not such a big down candle as in the other markets. And here the outlook is just simply bullish, bullish, bullish. If you are already in this long gold trade long, congratulations, that's great, enjoy the ride. If not, I would love to wait. I said last time, I'd love to see a pullback to this level here. It didn't happen. This would be our zone break retrace setup. it didn't happen. Our price is just grinding higher, and now we're here at this near the all-time highs in gold. So here, I would love to see a bit of a pullback, maybe a level 3 pullback as per trend radar, and then potentially consider a long trade in gold. And two more things. USO, the United States Oil Fund. What's going on with oil? Well, here I think we are, and I see it every single week. You guys must be getting tired of it. Our oil is range bound, but it's very predictable. Yeah, we're just going from the 63, let me just drag this up a little bit, the 63 area here up to 83, down to the 60 area, back to 83, and now, I don't know, if you believe in pattern recognition or pattern reoccurrence, we may be on the way back to the 60s areas or high 60s areas at least. It looks to me like this. We bounced off quite sharply this resistance level, this intermediate resistance level here, and now price is on its way further down. So yeah, sideways, sideways, sideways in oil. All right, and one last thing, Bitcoin. What's going on with Bitcoin? I was hopeful that, hey, we're gonna, make another push above the 100,000 level last week. It almost yes happened. So this up candle here, we reached the 98,000 or 99,000 zone here, and then a big down candle on Friday. Oftentimes Bitcoin is to some degree correlated with what's happening in the SPY and QQQs. And also here this big down big down candle, excuse me, yeah, similar to what we see in the indexes. So here we were very much range bound, which is not surprising after such a strong move, a parabolic move to new highs in Bitcoin. The market is consolidating, and this is exactly where we are here right now. But should we go back to this support zone here around the 90,000 area, this could be an interesting long opportunity in Bitcoin. Many people say that, hey, we're going to see a decisive push higher to all-time highs around 150,000 by June. Well, 4 more months to go. Let's see where we will be in a couple of months if this move will happen. You never know with Bitcoin, such a volatile symbol. All right. So, are there any questions, Nicholas, before we move on to our setups?
Yeah, Daniel, we have one question from Mala saying, hey, after the action yesterday, it was an eventful day in the market. How do you or can you use the scanner to find the best? And I was going to say, yeah, that's what we're trying to do now, kind of, right? So it's a process.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, these down days, they're great opportunities to potentially get into a long position at a much better price. So yeah, it's these retracements. I mean, there was this famous saying, "Never miss out a good crisis in trading," because oftentimes when price plummet, these are the best opportunities to enter into a long position. Now, of course, yesterday or Friday was not the worst. There was a big down day, but of course, we're still an uptrend, and the correction is still quite shallow. But nonetheless, there will be some interesting opportunities for the week ahead because of this down day.
Definitely. And then Ron says, when you have a day like on oil where price broke above resistance solidly, is there an indicator or way that we could have predicted that the move was going to fade and range back towards the 70 support?
Yeah, let's have a quick look. I need to see where we broke above resistance in oil. I didn't see that here, at least not in the
I think it
USO
might have been more
contract.
on an intraday chart that Ron's referring to, because I know in intraday it looked like it was breaking above the 73, or even there back on that resistance, maybe a couple weeks back, that green bar. Hello, Daniel.
Okay, yeah, I'm here. I was just listening. I hope my internet connection is okay. Yeah, I saw this break above resistance here, but this was just an intermediate resistance level. We pushed higher, once broken, which is nice, but then we bounced off this top resistance level here in oil, and then down. Now we're on the down move. We broke below this resistance level, which mean air price broke off, came up again, bounced off again. And I think in the bigger picture, I think that's what's important here in oil. This to me just looks like another sideways move further to a much lower support level around the high 60s or perhaps even low 60s.
Yeah, and Daniel, if I could say one thing for Ron, because I think I'm
Hello?
getting what he was saying now, is yeah,
Yeah.
so Ron, that break that was attempted a couple weeks ago on oil there, where price wicks up into the resistance, then it drops down, we actually wouldn't have considered that a solid break, because the bar was still overlapping with the resistance. We only consider it a zone break when the bar, the full day candle is totally above the resistance. Like it opens above it, closes above it, and never wicks below it. So we actually would have probably seen that as a potential bounce instead of a solid break.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Yeah, thanks, Nicholas. Thanks for clarifying. And guys, a quick question. Is my audio okay? I hope it
Yeah,
is.
it's okay. I know it's just, I think I'm delayed by about 10 seconds till my voice gets to you, or 5 seconds.
Got it. Okay. I'm gonna continue. Perfect. So let me go back to my slides. And now let's continue to look for the most interesting setups for the week ahead. And what we're going to look for are what we call high reward and low risk setups. And to have these kind of setups, what it requires typically is a fairly tight stop loss. Yeah. And of course, a tight stop loss is a nice thing. Yeah, you're not going to lose too much if you get stopped out. But of course, the chances of getting stopped out, they are higher. So this is, this is not the holy grail. Everything comes with a downside, every good thing. Also in this case, so this may take a couple of tries to work. But if you have a nice winner with a tight stop loss, yeah, you might be in for a very nice treat. All right. So how we're going to do this today? So we're going to focus on one setup at a time. We have 3 setups to go through, so we're gonna focus on one at a time. We will create what we call a hot list or a watch list based on what we see and find. And then at the end, we are going to do a detailed analysis of our stocks in our hot list to find the most promising ones. All right, let's get started. The first setup we're gonna look at, in fact, it's kind of a combination setup. It's a combination of what we call a bounce setup and a healthy pullback. So what are these all about? Now, a healthy pullback requires, first off, a long-lasting trend. So you can see it here. This is a long-lasting uptrend. Yeah, price has been going up for a long, long time. That's condition number one for a healthy pullback setup. Condition number two is we want to wait for a pause in trend, yeah, a correction in trend to the downside. So we had a big down day yesterday. These are interesting opportunities because we will get into a position, into a long position in this case, at a much better entry price and with lower risk. And why do I say lower risk? Because these corrections allow us to place our stop loss much closer by. Imagine you're entering all the way up here, your stop loss would need to be all the way down here. That's a very far stop loss. But once a correction happens, yeah, prices get cheaper and your stop loss will automatically be closer by. So less risk and a better entry price. And our trend radar indicator is able to find these kind of setups by signaling what we call a healthy pullback. All right, so that's condition number one. And condition number two is we want this to coincide with a bounce setup. Now, a bounce setup happens if price, in this case a long bounce, if price is near a support level. We can see it here. So price came to this support level and then bounced off very nicely towards the middle in between support and resistance. And what we're going to look for today is when these two things coincide. Yeah, we are near support level and trend radar shows us a healthy fall pullback and we are in a long-term uptrend. So all these conditions should come together. All right, so let me go back to our dashboard. I'm going to clear out everything here. And we're going to start entering these criteria now. And for this, we're going to use 3 columns. You can see them already here, Liquidity IQ, MA Rush, and our pullback column. Let's start with MA Rush. MA Rush is our trend indicator. So I'm going to go to the SPY here just to show you guys what I mean by this. It's our trend indicator because it identifies long-term trends. So you can see it here. If I scroll or zoom out a little bit, even a little bit further, you can see MA Rush, yes, has this bull label here. This is when MA Rush found out or determined that a previously bearish trend, you can see it here, concluded and now switched to a bullish trend, which you can see here. And so we're going to use this indicator to find stocks which are bullish. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into this column here, click on the filter icon and select bullish. And once we do this, you can see that, hey, just drag this away for a second. Of our 4,870 stocks, 2,650 stocks are currently bullish. That's great. All right, so that's condition number one. Condition number two is we want trend radar to show us a healthy pullback. And we can see it here in the SPY. Let me just actually quickly go into find the SPY here. SPY right now has the value 3 in the pullback column, which means it's a level 3 pullback as per our trend radar indicator. And if you look here a little bit, if you zoom in a little bit, you can see it at the very end here. 1, 2, 3 rows of trend radar are red, while the other ones below this are green. That's a level 3 pullback. All right, so but in this case, we don't want to find just level 4 pullbacks. We want to go even deeper. We want to find level 4 pullbacks. I'm going to select level 4 here. And once done, you can see, hey, we are now down to 644 stocks. Hey, that's quite a lot. That's still quite a lot. That's many, many stocks which are currently in a level 4 pullback. Once again, not very surprising. Markets are often correlated. When the overall markets go down, also the individual stocks typically tend to go down. So we had a big down day on Friday. So many stocks are currently in a pullback state. But now the kicker. We want this pullback to coincide with a key support level. So how do we find this? This is where our liquidity IQ indicator comes in. Let me actually quickly open up oil here one more time because it was so clear there. Where is it? United States Oil Fund. There we go. And we can see this indicator shows us these key levels of resistance and support. And this was beautiful, and all of our price really bounced off these levels significantly, repeatedly. So these are these key levels. So in this case, we want price to be at the key support level, like here, where we can bounce off this level to the upside. All right. So how do we do this? Our liquidity IQ setup column here and select long bounce. And once done, you will see that most of our stocks will be eliminated and only a few ones, well, in this case 63, which is still quite a bit, do qualify for this kind of setup. All right, so 63 stocks are in this state. And just to give you an example, Atma, this has been a stock which has been on our radar for quite a bit. I still like it. Is currently, well, is first of all in a long-term uptrend for 663 bars. Good. It is in a level 4 pullback. All right, check. And we are near a support level. You see price here? It's trading near this reddish zone here. That's a support level. When this happens, we may see a bounce to the upside. Yeah. The only thing here which I don't like too much about Atma is that it's taking too long. So we are now for 28 days. You see this number here on the right to long bounce? It says 28. That means for 28 trading days, we are at this support level. That's a long time. I'd love to see this bounce happen a bit quicker. That's a bit of a downside for this particular symbol. All right. So we're down to 63 stocks. And one thing I love to do here is to also sort my symbols in terms of trend duration from the longest to the lowest. And let's see what's coming up here. So the first one is this one here, Russ HB. Actually, I have no idea what the stock is. Russ HB, yeah, but it fulfills our criteria. We oh boy, this was a very volatile stock as of late. Price broke above this resistance here, made an all-time high, and then we bounced off towards the support level. A stock which has been bullish for 1,115 trading days, and you can see it here, trend radar. It shows us a level 4 pullback. All right. So as mentioned before, I have no idea what this stock does. I never heard of it. How can we find out? Well, of course, you could Google it. Yes, that's possible, and it's not the end of the world. But as of next week, our beta version of our new dashboard will go online. So we're just in the final steps of it. And this beta version has all kinds of interesting new features, such as knowing about a stock. You can read about a stock right in the dashboard. You know which sector it is in, and you know other stuff such as earning dates and dividends also right in this dashboard. So how can we find out? So let me just put the symbol in, Russ HB. All right. Going down to my other, I just have to drag this away for 1 second. I only have one screen today. So Russ HB, there we go. And you can see it here, right next to the name in our new beta version. And by the way, everybody who's a subscriber to our dashboard already has access to this. It's beta.view.tradingindicators.com. All right, so I'm going to click on it on this little info box here. And once I do, yeah, a new thing pops up with a brief description of what the stock does. So in this case, we can see, okay, they are they are in the retailer and commercial vehicle space. All right, I had no idea. Now I know. Great. Okay. Also, what's interesting here? These are in the consumer cyclical sector, and if I had my industry field also enabled, we can see they are auto and truck dealerships. Okay, perfect. So now I know a little bit more about the stock. All right, so this is going to go all online next week. So we're super excited about this. And new features will be coming soon as well. So please stay tuned for this. Okay, so that's an interesting one. I'm going to add the stock to our list. I don't really like this huge volatility. It's really big down bars, but we're going to add it to our hot list nonetheless. I'm going to create a new watch list here. All right, so if this opens up, I hope so. What happened? Just a second. I pushed the wrong button, that's why. Create, there we go. So setups. All right, 2025-02. What's the date today? Is it the 21st?
22nd, Daniel.
22nd, yeah, okay. Well, if you're on this cruise ships, you forget about dates and time. I'm
Oh,
kidding.
by the way,
All right.
Daniel, while you're on a chart, we had a question from Stephanie. Is it possible to show things like volume and RSI? So maybe you can show quickly, please, how we can get something like a volume indicator on the chart.
Yeah, great. I will do it. Yeah. Let me just quickly add this symbol to our watch list. So, and then we're going to continue with this. So add this symbol to our watch list here. Done. So we don't forget about it. Okay. Yes, there are about 300 built-in indicators that you can add to your chart. It's super simple. And the cool thing is, once you do, I'm going to show you how to do it in a second. Once you do, the dashboard will remember. So if you had added volume indicators or RSI or whatever to your chart, they will stay there until you remove them or reset your view. All right, so how to do it? Simply go to your chart and click on this indicators box here. You click on it, and then you can just search through a bunch of indicators. So if you're looking for volume, just type in the word volume and you can, get your volume indicator in there. I can get a volume oscillator and God knows what kind of indicators you want to add. So it's super simple. Of course, also the RSI is part of it, the relative strength index. Click on it and you now have the RSI view here as well. By the way, guys, that's a good question. If you ever, added too many indicators to it and the chart doesn't look like as it should be anymore, you can always reset it via this button down here. So there's a button here called reset. Click on it, and then it goes just back to the status quo, to the default view of the dashboard. All right. So I hope this answers this question. All right. So that's that. But let's go to our next setup here. SNA. That's the stock we had multiple times in our review already. We can see also here, this is a stock which has been in a long-term uptrend. So it's been trending up. We had this huge parabolic move to the upside. And now we are in a consolidation phase. And what's interesting here is that we are at the lower end of this consolidation, right near this support level here. We're not quite there yet, but we're nearish this level. And we can see it here. This level has held off in the past before. And I believe this could be an interesting opportunity as well to anticipate a bounce move towards the middle in between support and resistance here. So I'm also going to add this one to our, and I hope you get the idea of how easy it is to find interesting symbols. Okay, next in the list, sorry, Arista Networks. Where are we here? So let me just quickly look. What's going on here? Yeah, so we made these all-time highs here back in January. Then a huge drop, I believe, earnings. So that's always a good bet after such a big gap here. Price initially moved up, and now we're on the down move again. Yeah, it looks a bit bearish to me. I don't like the fact that we had this little push only, and now we're back here again. I mean, we're going to add it to our hot list, but ultimately, I think, at least my feeling tells me, we may see a move towards this support level here, which is a bit lower at around 92. Currently, we're at 97. So here, I personally would wait a little bit to see if we actually see a bounce. If we do, yeah, we consider a long trade. If not, I think there might be a move further down to this level here at 92, and this would be a great opportunity to enter into this long trade. So I'm going to add this nonetheless to our watch list. All right, so I hope you guys see how easy it is to find these trades. And one more, AFL, what's going on here? Yeah, kind of similar. Um, Parabolic move. Yeah, all-time highs, and then a sideways consolidation for quite some time. But now we're at the low end. So once again, this could be an interesting long bounce opportunity. Yeah, just enter around this area here at around 100, a psychologically important number. Put your stop loss just a bit below. Yeah, which coincides also with all these swing lows here. Enter long and then, hope for a move upwards. But if you get stopped out, hey, it's not the end of the world because your stop loss will be fairly nearby. So also this one, an interesting one. All right. So this concludes our long bounce discussion. Are there any questions about this kind of setup, Nicholas, or can we move on to
No, go
other
ahead,
ones?
move on.
Perfect. All right. So that was long bounce, but of course we do have other setups which are also interesting. So after the long bounce, let's talk about zone break. And at this point, I always like to say nothing lasts forever in life. Unfortunately, at some point, everything comes to an end and every support level is eventually broken to the downside and every resistance level is eventually broken to the upside. But when this happens, also new opportunities for us are opening up. For example, if we have a break below support, oftentimes it is the case that price will have a nice follow through. You can see it here. Support was broken around this level, and then price just carried on in this direction to the downside. And this is exactly what we can capitalize on as traders. How? Well, we would simply enter short when this break happens and put our stop loss simply above this broken support level in this case, which hopefully would act as resistance from that point on. This hopefully ride the trend to the downside or to the upside, depending on what was broken, support or resistance. Okay, so how can we find these setups? Once again, back to our dashboard. I'm going to clear out our filters. And now let's use our Liquidity IQ setup column here to find stocks which are currently trading above their resistance level. All right, so I'm going to go to my filter icon here and select long break. All right, so once done, we can see here that 222 stocks of almost 5,000 stocks are currently above the resistance level. Okay, not too bad. But if you look a bit carefully, you find stocks like this one here. Just face this like this one here. YI. Once again, I have no idea what the stock is, but you can see here, this stock is far away from its resistance level. The break happened here, and then now price is much, much higher already. So here we are clearly too late to capitalize on this breakout move. And the break happened quite a while ago. And in fact, the break happened 22 bars ago. How do I know this? I didn't just simply quickly count those candles. I'm not that fast. I just looked here. Oh, I said 22. It's not even true. I look at this number here, which says 30. So 30 bars ago, this break happened. It's indicated right in this, by this number here, right next to the long break label in your scanner. Okay, but what's most interesting is by sorting this column here, simply by clicking on it, you can sort from highest to lowest. And the highest here happens to be SAP, a big German software company, which is on a tear. It's been on a tear for a long, long time. In fact, if you're following the German market a little bit, it's quite positive despite all these negative news. And people say, hey, the main reason why the German stock index is still going up is because of this stock here, because it's clearly overweighted and it's so bullish that it drags the entire market with it. Anyways, so here the zone break happened here back in August 2024, and ever since the stock has been, pushing higher and higher. We can see it here. And here the break happened 136 trading days ago, like way too long. So let's click one more time on this column. And this way, we are now sorting from lowest to highest. And we can focus on the stocks which recently had a zone break. Let's focus on the first one here because that's interesting. MJ. All right. So MJ, oh boy. maybe this one is not so interesting because what I wanted to say here is that, hey, interesting, I guess we had earnings or something gap up here. Interestingly, that's a stock which is quite bearish. We can see it here. Bearish for how many days? I cannot read it on my screen. The glare is a bit too big. 867 trading days. Boy, that's long. And if you zoom back, yes, bearish, bearish, bearish. But for some reason, we did break above resistance because of this big jump up here. Would I enter long here? No, I would not. I would never go against such a strong downtrend. And, you know, this gap up, okay, might be a nice relief for this stock. But overall, I think we're going to, this bearish trend is likely to continue. So what can we do to filter out these outliers? Well, we can use our MA Rush column and only focus on stocks which are currently bullish. So I'm going to use the bullish filter here. And now we can see 216 stocks survived. All right. So CAH, Cardinal Health. All right. What do we see here? I think we discussed this one also lately, this stock. Yes, we do have a zone break. Yes, there's a label right here on the latest bar. And I like the fact that the stock went up where the entire market went down. But I mean, this zone has been broken and price came below many, many times in the past. You can see all these arrows here. It's not the most convincing zone break to me, so I'm gonna skip this one. It's too contested, this area. I'm not too convinced that, hey, we're gonna see a big push higher. We may see it, but it's just too contested. Next one, Melee. All right. Oh, okay, what happened here? This was clearly also some sort of earnings event or similar. Let me just see here. A stock which has been bullish for 493 trading days, and we did have the break above. So let me have a quick look. This was a nice break. What happened just before this? Actually, I'm gonna hide some of these labels here so we have a bit of a clearer view. Just go in here, take these off. We don't need these labels because we know what's going on already. All right, so here, yeah, we broke above this level, a big gap up, and then price retraced on Friday, just like the entire market. I mean, it's an interesting one. I don't like the fact that we had this big down candle on Friday after this big jump up. I think here a gap fill back to where this candle closed on Thursday is in the picture. So here I would definitely wait to see if we see a bit of more downside action, and then potentially this could be an interesting long trade. EQX. Yeah, also this one. Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky setup for after such a down day that we had on Friday. Yes, we do have the breakout symbol here. And by the way, that's a great example of what Nicholas was saying earlier on. Because you may say, hey, this candle here on Thursday should have been the breakout candle. And I agree with you. It kind of looks technically cleaner that way. The reason why it was this down candle here, which was technically the breakout candle, is because our criteria for a breakout demand two things. Number one is that the highest level of resistance needs to be broken. So if this was just an intermediate level and there would be other levels on top of it, then this would not be a breakout because we want to have clear skies ahead, blue skies ahead. Nothing will hold us back. But that's the case here. That's clearly the highest level. So if we were to zoom back, there's nothing above it. So that's okay. But criteria number two requires that a breakout bar is above resistance in its entirety. Everything from the low to the high, everything needs to be above the broken resistance level. This was not the case for this bar. Here you can see here clearly the low is below our resistance level. This is why this candle didn't qualify. But the next one, even though that's a down candle, because we had this gap up, it's a down candle technically, it is our breakout candle because this candle is in its entirety above this level. Yeah, so this is interesting. An interesting setup. I like the fact that we broke above resistance here. We came down a little bit. Would have been a nice zone break retrace setup of some sort. And now we're on top again. Let me just quickly have a look what happened here in the past. Yeah, we really broke above a key resistance level. Look at this one here. I'm going to add this stock because from a technical point of view, I like it when, a level which has been holding up for such a long time is finally decisively broken. Yeah, we're very sideways here. Look how beautiful these levels held up. Support, resistance, support, back to resistance here to the T. One more time. Finally the break, and now we're above it. So I'm going to add it because from a technical point of view, even though it's a fairly cheap stock, yeah, and gold, this could be one of interest. So I'm going to add this one here also to our, oops, 1 second, to our watch list. All right. And Nicholas, are there any questions regarding the long bound setup? Because I want to move on to the next one.
Yeah, Daniel, we have a couple questions. So, well, one is a note from Aubrey just mentioning that stock MJ we looked at. It had a crazy chart because it had a stock split on January 12th. And then Gerald says, what are the green boxes on the chart? So perhaps talking about liquidity captures.
Yeah, great, good point. So let's have a, so these boxes, I guess here you meant, let me just make this a little bit bigger. All right, so these are what we call liquidity captures. You can see it here a couple of times, but also here to the downside a couple of times. So what are these? Well, two things. First off, these boxes will only ever appear when prices near a key level. So near a resistance level, then they are greenish, or near a support level. In that case, these boxes are reddish. So that's condition number one. And condition number two is that the candle, which neared itself to that key level, must have abnormally high volume compared to the average volume. And if this occurs, such a box is drawn, and we call this a liquidity capture box. And the reason why we called it like this is because, this increase in volume may be a sign that liquidity is soaked up by big, and if it happens on the upside, and by big sell orders, preventing price from moving further up, and instead price will bounce off. So oftentimes this can be an extra confirmation that this bounce move will actually happen. So that's kind of the one interpretation you may have from these how price may react when it has this box drawn around it. But from a pure technical point of view, it simply means price is near a key level and price volume of the candle is extraordinarily high. All right.
Thanks, Daniel.
Perfect. Perfect. But we have one more setup. And I'm just gonna have a quick look at my battery. Oh boy. Yeah, we still have a bit of battery left. My apologies. I'm a bit of a mobile situation here in Miami as I just returned from my trip. But let's have a look at our last setup here, which is our zone break retrace setup. There we go. So what's the zone break retrace? A zone break retrace is a scenario where price breaks above a key level. We can see it here. Price broke above this resistance level. It initially went up, but then price corrected itself and went down towards this broken level, which is now acting as support. And we've all heard it before. Resistance can become support, and support can become resistance when broken. And this is exactly the case here. And oftentimes, when this retracement happens, when this initial fake out of the market is done, price really then accelerates in the direction of the original breakout. So these can be very interesting entry opportunities. So how can we find them? Back to our dashboard. There we go. And we're going to clear out our filters one more time. And oftentimes at this point, I say, hey, this is a very rare setup. You may only find a handful of stocks which satisfy this setup. Well, it's a bit different today because of the big down day on Friday, because a lot of these stocks corrected to the downside, which were currently broken above resistance. So if you select here long break retrace, we can actually see that, hey, of our almost 5,000 stocks, 42 stocks qualified for the setup. That's a lot because oftentimes you only have 5 or 6. That's quite a big number, but it's interesting because there are a lot of opportunities. So let's start with the first one here, Costco. A beauty stock, beautiful stock. I love it. We've discussed Costco many times in our newsletter. It's such a bullish stock. It's been bullish ever since we've been tracking it, trading beautifully in that trend channel. So I drew this one here a couple of weeks ago. But look how price reacts to this channel. It's just a thing of beauty. How technically clean Costco trades, a long-term uptrend, and now price is after this initial break above resistance here. It's pulling back to this broken zone. I love the setup. Definitely one that I'm going to consider for next week. So if we even see a bit of a further move downwards towards 1005 perhaps, or 1010, this could be a great opportunity to enter long into this stock. So definitely Costco is going to go to our hot list. Love it. Very nice one. And probably the trade of the week for our newsletter on Monday. We'll see how the market opens, but that's a very interesting one. All right. Okay, so that was that. Let me just make my screen a little bit darker because I just got the battery warning on my laptop. What's this one here? All right, so this one is GPI. Okay, let me make this a little bit bigger. Also a stock which broke above its resistance, so we can see it here. It initially went up, but now price retraced down to this level. I like this one too. Trend radar shows a level 3 pullback. Very nice. If we see a move perhaps towards this level here, around 442, give or take, this could be a very interesting long opportunity as well. So I'm going to add this one as well. Oops, to our hot list. All right, GPI as well. So there we go. And perhaps one more stock for today. BKR. All right. Big, huge corporation. Another stock that we definitely discussed in the past. Yeah, this one is interesting, but not my favorite. And the reason is this level, we're retracing back to this broken resistance level, it didn't hold up in the past. See this here? Price broke above and then just plummeted through this level in the past. To me, that's a sign of weakness of this level. It's a nice stock. It's been bullish forever, but this level itself may not be holding up. So here, I'm not too confident. I'm going to skip this one. And one more, DDS. All right. Nice bullish stock. You can see here this uptrend has been quite steady. Well, to some degree, at least from this point on here, from September 2024, we did break finally above this key resistance level. Nice zone break here. Price initially goes up, and now the fake out happened, and back exactly to this broken level. So this could also be an interesting one. It's, I guess now in hindsight, it's not the cleanest one, but I'm going to add it anyways to our list of symbols to look at. And I hope, guys, you see how easy it is to find these setups. So there's so many more. I won't have time to go through all of them, but this dashboard makes it very easy to find interesting setups. And Niklas, do we have questions about the setup, or can I go through our hot list?
You can go ahead.
Perfect. So, all right. So let's now go through our symbols step by step to see which ones are the most interesting ones. So I'm going to open up our watch list. I'm going to clear out all the filters. So if you ever wonder, hey, why does my watch list not have all the symbols which I thought it has? Well, the reason is probably because the filters are on. You can tell whether filters are on if this yellow button's here. Then simply click on it, the yellow button disappears, and they can see all the stocks here without the filters. Okay, so I'm going to sort them by the setup, and let's start with NET. Okay, NET is in a long bounce setup. Yes, it's an interesting one. It's a level 4 pullback directly to the support zone. I do believe NET is a very bullish stock, and definitely something to watch. I'm gonna add this one to our hot list for next week. So I'm gonna go to trade notes here. Now, all right, I'm gonna add a new trade note by clicking this plus icon, and all I do here is simply insert the chart screenshot. Of course, you could also type your notes here, but for me, I just want to be reminded of how the chart looked like when I considered a long trade for the symbol. So I click on this one here. Sometimes it takes a couple of seconds, especially if you are not with the fastest internet connection. But once done, you will see the screenshot of the chart here. All right. I hope so. Please be a bit patient. There we go. Okay, finally it is there. Okay, this will be much faster on your end, by the way. Okay, Russ HB, yes, dealerships for trucks, which we learned today. I like it. I think it's I love the fact that this key resistance level here was broken, and now we retraced a little bit. Yeah, I do like it. It's been bullish for a long, long time, and this could be an interesting opportunity to finally enter relatively cheap into this stock. The only thing which I don't like too much is that this resistance level is right off, so there's not that much space to move for the upside bounce. You always want to have enough space. Actually, for this reason, I'm going to skip this one for my next week's hot stocks. SNA. Yes, this one is interesting too. A parabolic move. Um, all-time highs. Now a nice pullback, and we pull back again to this resist to the support level. I believe this correction will take a bit longer. I like the fact that hey, this resistance level is quite far away, so we have ways to go. And if you are in for just play this correction, perhaps like 356, 360, this could be an interesting trade. So I'm gonna uh, add this one to our list here. But keep in mind, hey, this may go on for quite some time. So you want to get out of this trade once price reaches around 360, because it may bounce to the downside again. I'll just keep this one in mind. So I'm going to add this one also to our trade notes. There we go. Make my screen a little bit darker. Okay. I don't want to run out of battery. Okay. All right, that was this one. AFL. What is this one? Okay, so AFL, let me just zoom out a little bit. Yeah, similar story, parabolic move here, and now in the correction phase. You can see it here, but down at this support level. It's kind of the same story as with the previous one. Yeah, if you want to trade this, yes, anticipate a bounce, but to a level which is not too high up, because I think this correction will take a bit longer. Perhaps to this level here, around 1,110, 111 would be a realistic target for this one. So I'm going to add this one as well to our list. There we go. Perfect. It's done. And Costco. I mean, Costco is by far my favorite stock. I think it looks beautiful. It's a great company. It's such a strong uptrend. This correction is just, you know, a very nice opportunity to enter into this move. I would even stay with this trade, even if it goes further, even towards this low end of this trend channel. It may happen. It happened in the past before, but I definitely gonna have trend radar. Sorry, Costco on my radar. Trend radar. Costco on my radar. And definitely for a long term, yeah, investments. I'm gonna add this one as well to our trade notes. We already had it on our radar before. We can see it here. We can add a new one and add the chart here. And what is this adding? Let's have a quick look at Costco here in our beta version of the dashboard. Costco. Let's see. Does Costco pay dividends? Yes, they do. Yeah, they pay 0.45% dividend yield. It's not the greatest. Yeah. Of course, the stock is very expensive. Typically, very expensive stocks don't have great dividend yields, but nonetheless, yeah, this is a nice little extra that you can, you know, consider for a long-term investment into this stock. All right. Okay, so that's done. Okay, who else do we have? GPI. Have a look at this one here. It's a bit brighter. There we go. Yeah, also a nice one. From a technical point of view, a nicely uptrending stock. Look at this nice trend channel here. Yeah, very, very smooth up. Also going to add this one. This is just a nice uptrend. Now we had the pullback to this broken resistance level now acting as support. Yeah, a nice level here. So I'm going to add this one as well. All right. Oops. Is that the right one? I don't think so. Go here. Okay, edit. Perfect. GPI. Okay, and DDS, long break retrace as well. Yeah, this one I'm gonna skip. I know I said it before. It's nice to see that we finally broke above this sideways consolidation. It's just a bit too messy for me. Too many swings, too big, a bit too volatile. I'm gonna skip this one just because of that reason. I know it's long-term uptrend for 1,038 trading days, but nonetheless, a bit too volatile. And EGX, I mean, we broke above our resistance. It's in a long break state despite this down bar here. I'm gonna skip it too for two reasons. First of all, it's a bit too cheap for me. I don't like to trade these stocks which are below $10. Too unpredictable. Especially, you want to potentially, if things don't work out right away, if you want to go long, perhaps from a long-term investment perspective, this stock should have potential. I don't see it here. I'm not really sure what the stock does. I could look it up on my other dashboard, but because of this, I'm gonna skip this one as well. All right, but nonetheless, I think we do have a very nice list of interesting stocks, especially Costco, to watch for next week. And because other questions, I'm going to quickly check my battery status here so I don't run out any time here. But are there any questions?
Yeah, well, there's one about Costco, if we can get to that one, which is from David. And he asked if you were using options to trade Costco, how far out would
Yeah.
you take the options contract? So what would be the date? And which delta would you personally choose?
Oh boy, that's I would need to see what the options chain looks like for Costco. It is a very expensive auction. Options will be expensive because the prices are high. Uh, but I mean, from if you are thinking about Costco from a longer term perspective, I do see all-time highs in Costco for sure. So if you want to go a bit cheaper, buy out of the money, call options, and that I believe is the only play to do here. Outright calls. If you get a good deal on perhaps call option at 1,150, maybe even 1,200, but perhaps 6 months out, it could be an interesting one. But they need to be affordable. I'm not sure where the option chain prices are. It's a bit hard to say without looking at the chain, but definitely, I mean, my play here would just be outright calls to see if we can get some long set exposure for Costco.
Great, thanks, Daniel. And I know you have low battery. Can we take one look at MSTR? And the
Yeah,
questions from Mala, can you show key support levels on MSTR? And then how do you check these key levels using trading indicators? Well, those are our support and resistance levels on the chart. If you could point those out, please, Daniel.
yeah. So MSTR is in a long bounce state. It's been bullish for 389 trading days, currently in the level 4 pullback, which we can see it here. I mean, MSTR is very much correlated to Bitcoin. Let's see what's go. Oh, come on. I hope my laptop will not die on me right now. I hope you guys are still there. Just a second.
Yep, we
Hold
can
on.
hear you.
Okay, cool. Let's just look at this one here. I think I just pressed the wrong key. So MSTR. There we go. Make this a bit bigger. Yeah, what can we say about this one? We are definitely near support level, which is good. And you can see it here. Price kind of, once again, after a parabolic move, we consolidated for quite some time. Interesting one for sure. So yeah, at this support level, yeah, and if you're looking for a bounce, yeah, perhaps towards like 354, maybe even 360, it could be an interesting opportunity. But just keep in mind that hey, this consolidation, once again, after a big parabolic move, may just take some time. Yeah, Bitcoin is also consolidating right now after its move. This stock is very much correlated to Bitcoin. You may as well could take into account that hey, this consolidation may take quite some time to resolve.
Thanks, Daniel. And then we have one last one here, which is
Mhm.
from Aubrey. CRWD was on the zone break retrace list for the scan. How does that look to you, CRWD?
Yeah, CrowdStrike. All right, in software, of course. Zone break. Is it on zone break? Let me just quickly see. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, interesting one. So we had the zone break here. Back a couple of weeks back here on the well, in the beginning of February, price initially moved up, and now the retracement back towards this broken zone. It's just a bit too far away still, Aubrey. So I would wait here. Hopefully, we're gonna see a retracement back to the 405 level, maybe 410 even, to consider a long trade in here. But I would wait for an even deeper pullback. Let me just see what Trend Radar shows us. Yeah, it's just a level 1 on Trend Radar. History has shown us, hey, these pullbacks can be deeper for this symbol quite easily. So here I would wait for a deeper pullback and then enter.
Yeah, nice find.
Yeah.
Okay, and Aubrey said, hey, just noticed earnings are coming up on your setup.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so I was so excited, guys, that we're gonna put this version to production. So our internal data is tomorrow. If everything checked out, we're doing some final testing on this one. But if everything checks out tomorrow, we're gonna put this into production, and everybody will have access to this brand new version. And we also plan to have a new boot camp on it once all the new features are in. So this is all coming up. Perfect. All right, guys. So with this, I will have to close out the session a bit earlier than, well, not early, we're 1 hour in, but I'm only at 10% battery, and I at least want to say goodbye to everyone. So a couple of things. If you have not downloaded our ebook yet, the link is in the chat. Please download it. In fact, a slightly new version has just been uploaded with some nicer images. So if you want to do this, here's the link. It's also in the chat. And of course, if you want to try out our Liquidity View dashboard, simply go to tradingindicators.com/view. You get a 4-week free trial. And if you decide to stay on, we have interesting monthly and yearly options. And of course, there's no contract whatsoever. So, if you go for the monthly, for example, you can easily, well, you can just, go month by month as you like with no obligation to continue. All right, so that's out there. And lastly, Discord, of course, I mentioned it before, tradingindicators.com/Discord. If you want to check it out, it's a really fun place to be. And we also have big plans for Discord, by the way, with new alerts being worked on as we speak. All right, guys, with this, I'm going to say thank you so much. Thanks for being here. I apologize for any perhaps audio problems that may have occurred. I'm going to be back in Montreal tomorrow and things are going to be back to normal. But if there was a question that we did not answer, simply go to tradingindicators.com, main menu, click on contact, put your questions into the contact form, and these will go straight to my inbox. I'm going to make sure to answer all your questions as soon as I can. With this, guys, happy trading. It's going to be an exciting week once again. And thanks, Nicholas, for your help, and talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.